You didn't answer. You didn't defend. You just paused. And in that pause, they started explaining, over-talking, repeating themselves, losing control. Not because you said something brilliant, but because you didn't say anything at all. This is tactical silence. A pause with weight, a pause with pressure, a pause that makes the other person feel the space they just walked into. In this video, you'll learn how to weaponize the pause, how to hold silence just long enough to make people expose their logic, break their rhythm, and surrender control without raising your voice, without adding a single word. Part 1. What is a tactical pause? A tactical pause is not hesitation. It's not awkward silence. It's not indecision. It's a tool, a deliberate space. You hold between action and reaction, designed to shift power. It's the moment you don't fill. Most people rush to respond, to explain, to justify, to smooth the tension. But when you don't, when you pause and do nothing, you shift the gravity of the interaction. Suddenly, they feel exposed. They feel the need to fill the space. They reveal more than they planned. They try to re-anchor the frame. And all you did was pause. Tactical equals intentional. This isn't passivity. This is pressure without movement. You pause to break their rhythm, interrupt their emotional momentum, force them to sit in the weight of their own words, make them second-guess their strategy. The pause isn't weakness, it's control through absence. When you pause, they project. When you stop talking, they start guessing. Are they judging me? Are they upset? Did I say something wrong? Do they disagree? And in that guessing, they lose frame. You gain ground. Because silence triggers reflection. Reflection triggers insecurity, and insecurity triggers exposure. Bottom line, the tactical pause is a pressure point hidden in stillness. It doesn't ask, it doesn't react, it doesn't convince, it just holds until the other side breaks posture. Part 2. Why silence is more powerful than argument. Arguments trigger resistance. Silence triggers reflection. And when tension rises, the one who pauses controls the frame. Words activate defense. Silence activates insecurity. When you argue, they defend. When you pause, they project. Because in silence, they lose feedback. And when there's no feedback, they turn inward, rethinking what they said, replaying the moment, searching for signs, trying to read your mind. They move out of confidence and into uncertainty. Logic gives them something to push against. Silence leaves them nothing. You make a point, they counter it. You defend dash. They escalate. But when you pause, they have nothing to push, no line to cross, no reaction to exploit. You become the still point in a chaotic loop, and stillness breaks rhythm better than force. Silence forces them to keep talking. Most people fear the void, so when you don't respond, they rush to fill it. They over-explain, repeat themselves, reveal hidden intent, try to rescue their own point, and in that scramble, they show more than they meant to, all because you held the pause. Tactical pauses disrupt emotional momentum. When someone speaks with emotion, anger, urgency, dominance, they ride a wave. Your reaction keeps that wave going. But when you pause, the wave crashes. You break the tempo, you collapse the energy, you leave them, standing in their own intensity, alone. And that feels louder than any counter-argument ever could. Final truth. Words try to win. Silence shifts the field. It's not about being right, it's about holding gravity, because when you don't move, they start adjusting around you. And when they adjust, you've already won. Part 3. 4 types of tactical pause you can use. You don't pause randomly. You pause with precision. Each type of pause serves a different strategic function, and when used right, they do the speaking for you. 1. Post-challenge pause. Drop the blade, then wait. You say something that cuts, clean, direct, sharp, a boundary, a truth, a call-out, then you stop. You don't explain, you don't soften, you let the air carry the weight. Why it works? It freezes their momentum, forces them to respond emotionally, gives no target to deflect toward. Most people swing back, but you just hold, and the silence becomes the aftershock. 2. Dead-eye pause. Look, hold, say nothing. They expect reaction, they want a response. They're fishing for approval or pushback. Instead, you give them a neutral gaze and say nothing. Why it works? It makes them uncomfortable. They start filling the space. They reveal intent without knowing. In this pause, they do all the work. You do none, and yet you stay in control. 3. Delay response. Pause. Break their timing. They ask a question, drop a statement, try to trigger urgency. You pause. 3 seconds. 5, maybe more. Why it works? It resets the tempo, signals non-reactivity, puts pressure back on them. They expected instant reaction. What they got was silence. Now they're off balance. 4. End of sentence drop. Say less, then stop. You deliver a short, firm sentence. That's not going to work for me. I'm not continuing this conversation. I've already made the decision. And then you drop. No elaboration, no follow-up, no filler. Why it works? It closes the door emotionally, leaves no open loop, forces them to sit in the finality. They're left hanging, and that hanging silence feels heavier than any argument. Tactical rule. You don't pause to retreat. You pause to apply pressure without engagement, because when silence is placed with intent, it speaks louder than logic. Part 4. When to use tactical pauses for maximum impact. Pauses don't just work. They strike, but only if you use them where the pressure will land hardest. Here's where to drop silence and flip the dynamic. 1. In negotiation, to force the other side to move first. They offer terms. They expect counter-offer. You say nothing. You breathe. You lean back. You hold the space. And in that pause, they start adjusting. They justify, sweeten the deal, doubt their leverage, talk themselves down. Why it works? Most people fear dead air more than they fear losing. Use that. 2. In conflict, to disrupt emotional escalation. They raise their voice, throw accusations, try to bait you into reaction. You pause. No counterattack, no defense. Just stillness. Let their storm crash into your calm. Why it works. It breaks the tempo, makes them feel their own aggression. Signals. I won't play your game. Now they feel out of control, while you stay centered. 3. In relationships, to create clarity and boundary. Someone pushes, guilt trips, oversteps. You say one sentence, "That's not okay," and then pause, no lecture, no debate, no softening. Why it works. It places the weight back on them, makes them reflect instead of argue, signals non-negotiable energy without volume. You're not withdrawing love, you're withdrawing participation, and that's more powerful than explanation. 4. In group dynamics, to own frame without speaking. You're in a room, everyone's talking. Someone challenges or provokes. You don't flinch, you don't rush in, you just pause. Why it works. It makes people lean toward you. It re-centers attention around your silence. It signals, I control when energy moves. The one who controls when they speak controls how others listen. Tactical cue. The pause lands best when tension is rising, power is being contested, truth has just been dropped. Someone expects you to break, and instead, you don't. That's not absence, that's dominance by choice. Part 5. How to train your nervous system to hold the pause. The hardest part of the pause isn't timing, it's tolerance. Most people break the silence. Not because they should, but because they can't handle what it stirs up. Here's how you build the internal stillness. To hold the pause like a weapon. 1. Practice micro-silence in daily conversations. Before replying, pause 3 seconds, no words. Just breathe. Let the silence stretch, just beyond what feels safe. Do this with text replies, verbal answers, eye contact moments, emotional questions. Why it works. You're rewiring your nervous system to stop fearing the gap. 2. Let others feel uncomfortable without saving them. Someone says something awkward, offensive, wrong, needy. Don't rush to rescue the moment. Just pause. No nod, no noise, no smoothing. Let them feel it. Why it works. You're breaking the pattern of emotional caretaking and holding your ground in silence. 3. Breathe through the urge to react. Your body will want to fill the air, justify, defend, explain, apologize. Don't obey. Instead, breathe low. Slow the exhale. Anchor into stillness. Remind yourself, this isn't danger. This is a power reset. 4. Treat the pause like a frame. Don't see it as empty space. See it as structure, like the space between notes in music, like a cut in film. That space doesn't weaken impact, it sharpens it. And when you start honoring the pause as part of the message, you'll stop fearing it. Final training principle. Holding a pause isn't about confidence, it's about regulation, and when you can stay still, while others scramble. You don't need dominance, you already have command. Final CTA. You didn't say more. You didn't say louder. You didn't even explain. You just paused. And the room shifted, because the tactical pause isn't silence, it's structure, it's pressure, it's control. It interrupts rhythm, breaks momentum, collapses false confidence, and exposes everything without confrontation. And once you master it, you stop chasing control. You become the environment everyone else has to adjust to. From now on, let others speak first. Let their energy land. Then pause. Let the silence do the cutting. You don't need to win with words. You win with timing. And timing belongs to the one who can hold the pause without blinking.